So now we'll upload a CSV file by connecting local CSV get data, which we have seen previously. How many data sources like local, Azure, different categories we already discussed. So before we upload a CSV file, we need to first understand the refresh methodology in Power BI. That means there are some differences when we get data file locally versus cloud, and the difference comes when it comes on the refreshing part. That means if we are connecting any local file, whether it's CSV or text or whatever Excel file, so the refresh method will not happen. That means if you're connecting to your local computer or a network share where we are getting file from C drive, D drive. So once we upload a file from our local sources as well as any network share location, after that there are no chances we can get our data to be refreshed until unless we have to remove the file and then again we need to upload the file. So on the other hand side, when we are connecting to the cloud based service or Azure, then in Microsoft Power BI, refresh happens hourly basis, whether you use OneDrive for business or OneDrive personal, or if you are connecting to any SharePoint library, which is online. So this is the difference. If we are very sure that the data which you are connecting and which is not going to change, and this is the only final data set which you are going to work with, in that case then you can choose any local connection or a network share option. But when you have a real-time data which refreshes or which updates frequently, so in that case you have to select a data source which has a cloud or Azure related thing. So now we'll see how we can upload a CSV file which is a local. So we'll get a file from our local drives, whether COD, which we will look now. So let's go to our Power BI. Okay. So like we discussed at home, we have get data, and here you can find this text or CSV file. So we'll select this option. So once you select, I have some exercise file, and under this folder I have GDP Americas, which I'm going to connect. Okay. So now you can see as soon as we connect it to this local file, there are some options which are enabled for you. One is file origin delimiter and data type detection. So Power BI is a very intelligent enough for artificially robust tool where you can change certain things. So if we, since it is a comma separated file, under delimiters, again we can modify this to colon, comma, equal sign, semicolon, or whatever your custom requirement is. So you can choose based on your requirement. As well as under data type detection, in Power BI, based on your data, it will determine its data type. So since, as you can see here, under this GDP column, we have decimal values. So if we choose based on the entire data set, that means it will change the type to the decimal based on its data. As well as under the region, you can see country, you can see there is a country information. So it will change based on the country, like latitude, longitude. So it will change automatically. So if you do not want any change in your CSV file, then you can load. Otherwise, you can click on edit. So edit thing, which will we will look at later. But now we will just hit load. Okay, so it is already loaded. So now we will enable these many panels: filters, visuals, and fields. So under fields, you can see the GDP. This is the name of the file, the local file which we connected, and these are the columns inside the file: GDP underscore PP, country, region, and the year. On other hand side, left hand side, we are already under this reporting area. If we look at under data, so this is the similar data which we just imported from CSV file, country, region, year, and GDP underscore PP. So if you need any modification, you can change it right now. It will reflect inside the fields. As of now, we do not need any modification since it's a new, very first CSV file. So we are just using raw file. We are not modifying anything. Down data, we have model. So since we have only one data set, so that is the reason we are seeing only one table. So it will show all the mapping relationship in the form of table. So suppose if we connected one more file, you will see one more table here, and then we can build a relationship mapping, one to one, one to many, and many to many relationship, which we will see later. So now under our reporting area, now we'll create some interesting visual by using existing data which we have, existing data set. Okay, so here are some visualization categories, and for now I'm just using this pie chart. Pie chart is the most common chart category here, and if you work with Excel, then definitely you know how to work with pie chart. Okay, so right now we have just selected a tile under the reporting area. Right now it is just blank because it doesn't have any data to showcase. So in order to make this visual alive or real, we will choose some columns. So we will choose GDP, some of this. So as you can see here, the entire sum, it doesn't provide any value or any sense to us. So now we'll choose one more thing, which is a country. Okay, since we have only one visual as of now, then we can make it stretchable so that we can view it in a proper way. Okay, if you hover on a pie chart, you can see this information: the country name United States and its GDP value in the percentage as well as in the numerical value. But for me, it looks like we have too much information inside the one pie chart, so it doesn't look good as of now. So now we'll apply some filters and we'll play with the data now. So we will now minimize some of the data. We will filter some data so that it can be visible in a more informative way. So beside the visualization sections, we have three things: fields, format, and analytics. So by default, this field is enabled for us. So as we can see here under legend, we have country. So by default, it is showing all the countries. So if you want to rename, you go rename, you can move, you can add tooltip values, new quick measure. If you want to create a new measure, then we can create it here. Show item with no data, or the new group. So we will not touch this particular section, we will leave it here. And under GDP, so right now you can see a very interesting thing. The GDP underscore PP column which we have, as you can see here, this mark, it is called a summation mark. So it is showing all the sum based on the country. So if you want to change these measure, so you can change this to average, minimum, maximum, count, distinct, then count, standard deviation, variance, median, and so on. So now I'll change it to average. Or maximum or minimum. So based on our selection, as you can see here, it is changing the diagram visual. We'll choose count distinct. So it change, as you can see here. We choose variance of GDP. So it is showing some different measure itself. But now we will keep it very simple, the sum only. If we'll go down again, this is a tool tip, so we will leave it blank only. And here are some other option drill through, which we will look at later, not now. Okay, now we'll move on to the next part, which is a format. So under format, first we have legend, and in order to make changes under this section, we have to first of all make it on. So once it is on, then we will see. So legends, as soon as we click on enable this legend, you can see under this country section, different color, different legend it is showing. So we can change the position, whether bottom or left, right, or any other, top center. So right now we'll make it to the left. If you change the legend name, then you can modify country underscore info. So you can see this legend has been changed to country info, and this is the font color of the all the countries which you are seeing. So I can modify this as well. So this has been changed to this color, magenta. Okay, so we have modified legends. Now we'll go under data colors. So you can as you can see here, under this section you are seeing all the country and its related color under the legend section. So if you want to modify this color, you can do it based on your requirement. So as of now, I'll not touch this part. For me, it's good to have these colors by default colors. And then detail labels now. So under this label, we have some other categories. I changed to category and data value. So it is showing now this particular, earlier it used to show only country. Now it is showing along with the category and its value. If you do not want to make a mess out of this, then you can use only categories so that it will look clearer. Also, you can change the colors. Right now it is gray. I'll change this to black so that it is more visible to me. This is the font size. You can increase it. So I have increased little bit so that I can view. And then the font family, if you want to change your font style, then you can modify. Right now I'm changing it to black, so it is showing me more clearer text here, country information. Okay, so I'm done with this detail labels. Now we'll go to the title section, and this is the title of this particular visual. So I'll give GDP based on countries. So I have modified the title and this has been changed. Below are some more things, whether you want to wrap the title or not. Let it be off. And this is the font color. I'll make it to again bolder. And this is the background color of this particular area. I'll keep it to white. And this is the alignment, so I'll make it to center. A little bit increase the font, and this is the font family. Again, I'll change it to this. Okay, I'm done with this title section. Now comes the background. So as of now, it is showing the default background, which is a white, and this is the most recommended thing so that we can view all its elements. But if you want to change, then we have to first of all enable this thing, and we can choose any descent color so that we can read at least. So okay, this looks good to me, and this is the transparency. So I'll make the transparency to this level. It is fine. This is not required, and under general, these are the positions, X and Y axis, and the width. So if you want to change it, you can modify here. For me, it is good. Now under the borders, this is the border of this particular visual. We'll change the border to this color. It is fine. And then the tooltip. So let it be default and auto. So tooltip is something whenever you hover something on this particular visual, it will show some text, default text. So if you want to add this default text, then you can modify here under this tooltip section. And last but not the least, visual headers. So as you can see here, these are the headers. So for each and every visual, you will find some icons here, which we will explore a short while. So now I have changed the color. Now I'll revert it to white because it looks good to me. Okay. Now we'll move on to this particular section, analytics. So unfortunately for this particular visual, this feature is not enabled. Maybe we can check it for some other visual when we'll work on. Okay, so now we have changed the look and feel by changing its fonts, colors, by applying some filters. But still, this report looks very clumsy for me. Still, there is a lot of information, so I want to minimize some of the information. So this is the new feature which Microsoft has recently updated under filters. So now we'll see how we can minimize some of the information. So first of all, as you can see here, based on our selection of fields, GDP underscore PP and the country, these things comes by default under the filter. So if I want to filter, first of all, I'll go under the country, and so under basic filter, if you want, you can choose some of the country. So as you can see, based on my selection, it is modifying the country. But I am not interested in selecting these things manually. So what I'll do, so I'm not interested in manual selection under this filter, so I'll apply some other things. So under this filter type, you can choose advanced filter. So under advanced filter, you can see here there are different conditional thing which has contains, does not contain, start with, does not start with, is not, is blank, is not blank. So these are some combination. So based on that, it will change some value. So okay, so we'll choose the very first contains, and then we can type some alphabet, or so these are some logical operations you can perform, or contains maybe A, and then we'll apply filters. Okay, so a lot of combinations, so we'll just give F. Okay, so as soon as we apply this advanced filter, you can see based on this conditional logical operation, it is showing all the countries which has E or F alphabet in common. So like that we can minimize some of the thing. Other filter which we can apply if we are not interested in these logical operations, then top n, and then we can choose top 20, 12, 100, how many rows. So after adding this number, we have to choose by value, so we need to add a field here. So we'll add top 20 countries we are interested in, and we'll apply filters. Okay, so based on that, now it has showing all the 20 countries, top 20 countries. Another things which you can see under this filter span is filters on this page and filter on all the pages. So there are some common filters which is specific to single page, or we can apply some filters which are applicable to all the pages. So down, if you can see here, right now we are at page 1. If we want, we can add some more page. So we want to add some filter which is applicable to all the pages, then we have to go here under filter on the pages. Right now we are good with one page, one visual. We'll remove this. And if you want, you can rename country page. Okay, so it is showing this thing now. Another thing you will realize, as soon as you click on this page outside of this visual, then under this section fields and format, you're realizing things has been showing based on the page, like page information, page size, page background, page alignment, wallpaper, filter pan, and filter cards. So we'll see the first thing, which is a page information. So again, if you want to rename, just now we have renamed. So again, if you want to rename this, you can apply here. And if you want to show any tooltip, all the countries, and after this we have page size. So if you want to increase the page size, you can do it by selecting this, or custom if you want to change height or width. So I'm happy with this size as of now. Then the background, so if you want to change the color, most of the time white is the most recommended color, but we'll choose any other lighter color. looks good. And the alignment thing, top or middle, so we'll choose middle. And if you have any specific wallpaper which you want to add it here, so you can add it by adding image. Then we have filter pen, the background color, the transparency, and the font color, icon, text size, text of this thing, so we'll increase. And then the filter card, but I don't want any changes under this, so I'm good with this. So now again, come back to this visual part. As you can see, on top of this visual we have some headers. So the first icon under this header is the filter and slicer affecting the visual. So here it is showing all the filters which we have applied, like country top 20 by first country. So here it is showing if we have added any filter, then it will show the information. So now we'll talk about this focus mode. So the main purpose of this particular header is, under one report and in a single page we might have several tiles. Under tiles we have several visuals. So suppose if we have two visuals on a page, and at a time we want to focus on a single visual, or if you want to highlight, then we'll click on this focus mode. So you can see it just got bigger so that we can view it in a proper way, all the legends and all the other information which it is showing. And if you want to go back, you can click here, back to report. And then we have some more options which we will see. Export data. So you want to export the data which is showing in this visual, then we can click here, export data. And we can save to any file if we wish to. The next is show data. So it will show all the data and all the columns which are currently using from data table. So all the columns, country and the GDP. So it is showing first 20 columns, as we have applied filters based on the 20 countries. So it is showing country as well as the GDP underscore PP. And if you want to go back, we can go back. And then if you want to remove this particular visual, you can remove it. And if you want to make this as a spotlight, you can choose this. Also, you can arrange some orders based on the alphabet, ascending or descending. So by default it is descending, and if you want to change it to ascending, as you can see here, it has changed the order. Another sorting option we have is based on the country or based on the GDP. So if we'll sort it based by country, so it is showing all the countries, or based by GDP, so it is showing all the data based on the GDP. So here in this section we had seen the very first thing is how we can connect to a local file, a local CSV, and then how we can use raw data into this very beautiful report which is giving some information to us so that we can perform some BI related operation to our organization. Um, So I hope you found this video to be very helpful, and please do let me know if you have any query regarding this particular video. I'll definitely try to respond you, and please do like, share and subscribe this channel. All the information related to this particular video I have linked into the description box. Please do check out, and have a nice day, and thank you so much.